Do you remember collecting a paper form, filling it in and sending it off? Then you'd have to wait for a response if the form wasn't lost in the post. Today, lots of forms are available online as an alternative to paper versions. In this topic, we'll find more about the different types of forms. Why go online? Online forms are becoming very common. There are now lots of things you can apply for online. Job applications, car tax, pension benefits are a few examples. But why fill in a form online? You can access an online form anytime. You don't have to collect it or wait for the post. You can also submit it right away online, saving postage costs, and there's no risk of it getting lost on the way. Many forms allow you to save your work, so you don't have to finish it all in one go. Some will send you a confirmation, email, or receipt so you know that your form has been delivered. Different types of forms. Online forms have different designs and layouts, but they don't all work the same way. Forms contain spaces into which you can either type text or select an answer from a choice of options. These spaces are called fields. Let's take a look at the main fields you might come across and how they work. You may have seen some of them before. Don't worry if they're all new to you. You will explore them in more detail later on. A text box form. A text box is a blank field where you type details into like your name, your address, or your password. Drop-down lists let you choose an answer from a list of options rather than typing your own text. Radio buttons are another way of choosing from a list of options. They usually look like a small circle. Checkboxes are like radio boxes, but they are usually square rather than round. When you select an option, it may show a tick, a cross, or another image. Unlike a radio button, you can choose more than one option. You can select the box again to change your answer and remove the tick. Knowing what to do. Don't worry if you haven't seen any of these before, or if you're not sure how to use them. We'll take a look at each one, a closer look, and have a go at using them. You may see forms that look different to ones that you've covered in this course. Don't worry about this, forms all work in the same way. Let's meet Barbara. She's a busy mum with a husband and 2 kids. Completing forms online can save her time. In this course, we'll join Barbara as she discovers how going online can be quick and convenient. We'll follow Barbara as she completes some popular forms online and have a go at giving her a hand. So far we've seen how online forms are made up with a few key fields, and the design of online forms can vary, but the fields work the same way, however they look. Filling in your details. In this topic, we'll join Barbara as she uses text boxes to enter her details into a form. Barbara is looking for a job. She has a friend who's good with computers and she recommends she looks online. Barbara has seen a job that she's interested on a website. She would like to apply, but she's worried it might be too complicated. Barbara doesn't need to worry. It's quite straightforward. Before she can apply for a job, Barbara needs to register with a job site. She starts by going onto the website in her web browser. Getting registered. Barbara's first step is to register on the job site. In this activity, we'll help Barbara to complete an online form. Barbara has found a job that she'd like to apply for. Because she hasn't used this website before, she will need to register her details before she can apply. Let's select Register on the website first. To register, Barbara needs to enter her details. She's already put her name and email address. Usually when you fill in important details like an email address, the website will ask you to enter it again to make sure it's correct. Let's enter Barbara's email address in the Confirm email box and then select Next. Placing her cursor into the Confirm email address. It's case sensitive, all in lowercase b, full stop, lowercase b, a, I, s, e, 77 at yahoo.com. You'll notice a small star symbol that looks like this next to each text box. This is called an asterisk. If you see an asterisk next to something in a form, it means that you have to complete that part before you can continue. Setting up a password. Now Barbara has entered her name and email address. She needs to choose a password. In this activity, we'll help Barbara to enter her new password into the registration form. Barbara has chosen F1 NDA Job 1 as her password. She's already typed it into the password box, but she needs to type it again in the Confirm password box. Let's help her do that. Let's move our mouse, our cursor, into the text box for Confirm password. Capital F, 1, NDA, Job 1. We've helped Barbara confirm her password. You'll see that Barbara's password is replaced by stars now that she has entered it. This is for security so that no one else can read it. Going further. Now Barbara's registered on the job site, she can add more details about herself to help her search for a job. Some sites might have a section where you can enter extra information about yourself. When you type text that you've entered into a form before, such as your name, your computer may suggest it to you as you start typing. This is called autocomplete. Many computers remember details like this, and it's a useful feature that makes filling in online forms easier. Computers don't remember passwords unless you ask them to. Some online forms have time limits, so it's a good idea to be prepared with the sort of information you'll need. For example, if you don't know your email address, have a note of it beside you. Lots of online job sites let users upload a CV. This means that you can send your CV when you apply for jobs. You'd complete your CV in a word processor and then upload it, rather than filling it in online. Job sites give you the option to receive emails from them telling you about jobs that might interest you. They may ask you what kind of jobs you're looking for to set these up. Multiple choice. With all multiple choices, you can select one or more answers from a list of options. They can look slightly different, but they all work in a similar way. Let's recap on how the main types work. Radio buttons. Let's click on the radio buttons next to the response you want to choose an answer. You can only click one button. Checkboxes let you select more than one option. To change an answer, click on the box again to deselect it. Drop-down lists are a bit different. You first select the box or the arrow next to it to reveal a list of options. You can select one option. List boxes. Checkboxes, radio buttons and drop-downs are the most common multiple choices, but sometimes a site may use other ways of making a multiple choice list. If you see one of these, it will work like the fields you've seen here. This example is a list box. It works like a drop-down list, but you can choose more than one answer. Using checkboxes. Now that Barbara has registered with the jobs website, she needs to enter a few more details about the type of job she would like. In this activity, we'll help Barbara use checkboxes. In this activity, we'll help Barbara to enter the type of job she would like using checkboxes. Firstly, help Barbara select the part-time option. Select the box next to part-time. Checkboxes lets you select multiple options. Barbara can also work full-time. Select the checkbox next to where it says full-time. Right, we've helped Barbara to select the options full-time and part-time. Using drop-down lists. In this activity, we'll help Barbara to use a drop-down list. In this activity, we'll help Barbara to use a drop-down list. She needs to choose how far she can travel to get to work. She started by entering the postcode. Let's help Barbara by clicking on the drop-down list. How far away can you travel from home? Let's select 0 to 10 miles. That's great. We've helped Barbara to choose a distance she can travel to work. Using radio buttons. In this activity, we'll help Barbara to select something on the job sites using radio buttons. We'll help Barbara to use radio buttons. Barbara does not have a driving license, so she will need to select no. Let's click on the radio button for no. Getting help. Most online forms will offer you advice on how to complete them. Let's look at ones you're most likely to come across. Example registration. Are you eligible to work? Are you entitled to seek work in the United Kingdom? In this question, we have 2 checkboxes. However, Barbara is unsure if she's eligible to work. She can select the Needs Help to check if you're eligible to work text to get an explanation of what this means to help her answer the question. Help options are often displayed using images or icons rather than words and sentences. They work in the same way. You click on them to get more information. Here are some of the most popular ones you may see. Question marks, eye icons for information, these are often in different colour to the question text, so you can see them more easily. You can always change your answer to multiple choice questions, but if you do move on and then realise you've made a mistake, you can often go back and change it. If there's a back button on the site itself, use that rather than the one on your browser. If you can't go back, you'll usually be able to change your answer later on a separate screen. Once you select Submit, you may not be able to change your answers, so make sure you check each page carefully before you move on. So this back button over here as opposed to the one in the top left-hand corner on your browser. As you see, multiple choice questions can look at a bit different. They all work in the same way though. With radio buttons, you can only select one option. With checkboxes, you can select more than one option. Drop-down lists are usually to select one option, but can be more. The instructions on the form will usually tell you if you can select more than one option. Correcting a mistake. If you make a mistake on an online form, it's easy to correct most of the time. Online forms will show you where you've missed out information, or if you made a mistake. In this topic, we'll find out about correcting mistakes in online forms and help Barbara to correct a mistake that she's made. How to correct a mistake. Barbara's job search is going well and she's seen a job at her local school that she'd like to apply for. She started by filling in her details, but she's made a mistake and can't move on until she corrects it. In this activity, we'll help Barbara to find where she's made the mistake and correct it for her. Barbara started filling in the details onto the online form. But she's made a mistake and can't move on until she can correct it. Can you spot where she made the error? Select the part of the form where she's made a mistake. Barbara hadn't typed in an initial, and that's why the form wouldn't let her continue. The good news is we can help Barbara to correct the mistake on her form. Let's type in a capital B into the text box for the initial and press the Enter key. We've helped Barbara correct the mistake on her job application form. So it doesn't matter if you make a mistake on an online form, as it's easy to correct. Check before sending. Barbara's completed her application and is ready to submit it. But it's important that Barbara double checks the information that she's entered into the online form to make sure it's all right before she does this. Some online forms like this one will give you a summary page. This will help you to make sure that everything is correct. If you spot a mistake, you can return to the form and correct it.